works. We can show things properly now on that.
Got it. Share my good Instagram now.
If only YouTube would let me flip images, right? Maybe it will. Let me see.
No, I don't think it
What's wrong?
does. It flip images? Or does it flip
I
images?
flipped Facebook. I would love to be able to flip YouTube. I don't think there's a way to do it, though. No, there's not a way to do it. How nice it would be if we didn't have everything backwards on YouTube, right? Oh, Instagram working?
Instagram is live now.
Instagram, does this need to stay? It needs to stay up, right? Hey! Hey!
What you want? Just throw it over there.
Oh, I could, couldn't I? I think that works better, if I'm honest. All right, hang on.
Yeah, that's not
Okay.
a good idea. Just separate it.
I'm going to take my mask off for the deaf community to read my lips because I can't sign fast enough. If you are seeing me off of Yogi's live stream, yes, we're on Yogi's account today. Reason being, I was suspended from Facebook for a year-old meme that was a Hollywood screenshot that Facebook claimed was glorifying suicide, which is not anything I would ever do because, I'm a veteran and we don't glorify that sort of thing. So that's why we're on Yogi's account. Is it BS? Yes, it's BS, but I have no one to complain to because Zuckerberg makes it more difficult than dealing with the DMV. Anyways, pop culture news. Anyone have any pop culture news today?
Rick and Morty just aired.
Rick and Morty, the first episode just aired, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting like one a week.
Yes.
Dude,
No half and half. They're doing straight.
Rick and Morty is a brand that I watch it and I immediately forget it. And then I go back and watch it. It's like watching it new again. It's brain damage or something, but I don't retain it. It's very strange. So the new episode's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Borderlands just ended filming.
Oh, we're getting a Borderlands movie.
Yes.
Oh.
With names like Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Which
others.
you kind of need comedians like that for that story. You really do. Okay, so that's cool. Borderlands finished filming. I knew the new Loki episode. I watched half of it, haven't finished it. It looks good. It's not my favorite episode for sure.
Episode 2.
There is rumor, and I think it's a casual fan rumor. I'm not putting huge stock in it, but they're saying that the TVA is actually the inside of the tiny universe at the center of the Marvel universe, which is the micro universe inside of the beyond the quantum realm. We know that that's the universe where the Enigma Force comes from. So it doesn't really make sense because the Enigma Force wouldn't be coming from that universe, one, and two, that universe is still inside the Marvel universe, and we know that the TVA is outside of the Marvel universe because the Infinity Stones don't work. So casual fan theory, not putting a lot of stock into it, doesn't quite make sense. That's all I'm going to say on that. Any other news? Something big, but we can't remember. You got anything for me, Nate? Nothing. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. I need the books. Where are the books?
It was definitely hit by the end of the
Guys, what did I do with the books?
I
found them.
don't remember the night when we're driving home.
Yeah. That sucks. Your phone went crazy just now, Yogi. It's a blessing in disguise. It really is. Okay. Let's get to it. We're going to dive right into it. It's been a weird week. If you have been trying to get your books from us, we are sorry. Both of our shipments wound up stupid late. And I mean stupid late. Like we are just now finishing them on Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. So, yeah, it's been a little frustrating, but we got it done. It should be ready to go tomorrow. First book on our list is in indie. It's Wagner, Hilliard, Stewart, and Dukeshire. This is vinyl. Now, this is going to be a strange one for all of you. It feels like a cult crossed with a serial killer, crossed with a song on a record, crossed with a secret government agency. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts. Is it good? Actually, I had a really good time with it. The art is really good. I'm intrigued, but man, there is just a mystery upon a mystery upon a mystery in this. But I'm having a pretty good time with it, and I think that everybody should check it out. Now, does that mean you should rush out and buy it? Sorry, I'm trying to fix Instagram. Does that mean you should rush out and buy it? I think this is one of those ones where you don't sub to it right away. You pick it up, you thumb through it, you decide if you like it, and then commit. So I'm on the fence. I would say give it one more issue before you commit to it and sub immediately. Next one is Matthew Ehrman, Stefano Simone. This is almost my pick of the week, really close, almost my indie pick of the week. This is Good Luck. This is a wild read. Centers around some gods of luck, some of them good, some of them bad, and they bless people, and certain people have really rough lives, and certain people have really good lives. And then it involves an agency that are doing simulations where they not only breathe in air, but they breathe in luck as they perform the missions and try not to break their helmets. If it sounds weird, it's weird, but it's intriguing. I had a really good time with it. Again, the art is really good. The art, I think this is the same artist as They Only Find Them When They're Dead. I'll need to double check, but the art feels very similar. The storyline is really interesting. But I'm somebody who kind of favors luck powers in my stories and stuff like that. So
Different guys.
Simone D'Amelio, and this is Stefano Simone.
Oh, close.
Anyways, but the art does look like They Only Find Them When They're Dead, and everything good. Everything coming from Boom Studios these days seems to be pretty damn good. So I would say definitely buy that. Next is Marvel Voices Pride. This is several stories centering around the LGBTQ community. I was making sure I got the whole acronym. And it's a lot of good art and a lot of great stories, and I wasn't bored. I mean, you get some Krakoa stories in here, some X-Men stories. You do get I'm almost sure there's a Wiccan and Hulkling story in here, but I'm not sure if I skipped through it. But it's really good stories. The art is really amazing, though. That's what sells me on these books, is always the art is just outstanding. And this is no different. You get tons of different artists, and they're all really fun. Too big of a list to go over when they do these compilation books. Next is Thompson, Comagny, and Gruntjern, and we're talking about Captain Marvel, or how Carol Danvers got a groove back. Carol is going through a bad breakup with Rhodey and has since had a one-night stand with Doctor Strange, and has decided that her biggest weakness needs to become a strength, and she needs to learn some magic. So that's weird. And who she went to last issue, Cam, who did she go to last issue? Enchantress, which they don't have the best history. So she went to Enchantress to ask Enchantress if she would teach her magic, which is all types of strange. Strange. But did I have a good time with this story? Actually, I really did. There's a lot of action, a lot of fun, and we're seeing them take Captain Marvel in a direction we really haven't seen before. Plus, I don't know, the whole one-night stand with Doctor Strange was as awkward as it seems like it would be, and it was really entertaining. So, yeah, come check that out. Next is Scott, Samo, and Han. This is Transformers Back to the Future. Does it feel like the story's been going for almost 2 years? Yeah, because it has. It was pre-COVID, and it's still running. Like, we're still trying to get the rest of the story. This is finally the last issue, and I'm very happy to say that while I don't think it was worth waiting 2 issues, sad face, I am happy to say that it's a really good Back to the Future story. Is it a good Transformers story? The Transformers stuff feels like it's sort of shooed in, but the ending is very Back to the Future. I don't know. I like the Ecto character, but doesn't it feel like a Back to the Future story with like Transformer themes? Is kind of what I'd say it is.
I remember the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So, but I liked it, and the ending is so Back to the Future that I think if you're a Back to the Future fan, you will love it. If you're a Transformers fan, again, I mean, it's good. It's just a little gimmicky at times for your side of the thing, but that's how these always work. There's always sort of a gimmick on these crossovers. You have to read it and see what I mean. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. It's worth your money. Next is Henderson, Garbe, Fabella, and Boland, and we're talking about Shadecraft, or as I like to call it, well, this is darkness. This is just darkness without the mafia overtones. But is it good? Yeah, it's really good. This is how you do a tribute book is what it feels like. It feels like it's a tribute to darkness. The main character has shadow powers. Their shadow powers are a bit different from the characters in the darkness. But she's lost her brother. One of the shadows starts talking like her brother. And then she found out that some of her family might actually have these same powers. And there might be a tie in there. So I don't think they're going to loop it back to the darkness because, Darkness was on Image too, wasn't it? It was an Image book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if eventually they're going to pull it back in like that. Granted, this is called Shadecraft. It's a little different, but I would love to see that like crosses over there. That would be something to see. Is the story good? Yeah, it's really, really good. We're going to find out a bit more about her family and where this power sort of comes from. On top of that, the art is amazing. So I think if you're on this Shadecraft ride, you're probably not bored with it. If you're anyone else and you've been waiting to jump in, don't wait. It's a good book. It's a really, really good book. Granted, it is something we've sort of seen before, just in a different form, but it's still good. We are all going to take a second and laugh about this because I need to set the stage. Keanu Reeves releases his book. His book is becoming a movie. It's an anime. It's BRZRKR Berserker. That's the title of the book. There's no vowels. But because Keanu was tied to it, it exploded and everybody bought it and everybody's excited about the Keanu comic. So I feel like Vin Diesel decided he was going to make his own comic and he was going to take out the vowels too. So this is MFKZ. Yeah, it's motherfuckers. Excuse the language. That's what it is. So it feels like Vin Diesel was like, no, you can't have a comic without vowels. Let me have a comic without vowels. So it's a Vin Diesel comic. Is it good? Actually, yeah, it's really good. Oddly enough, this reads, look, it's going to sound weird. I know it's going to sound weird. This reads like Invader Zim crossed with Ghost Rider, crossed with Chibi, crossed with wrestling, dropped in a ghetto. It sounds strange. I'm not lying. Cam laughing back there. It sounds strange. It works. The characters, the art is really good. The story is fun. And frankly, you get a gigantic comic here. This is a trade paperback. I think there's 8 separate stories in this, all linked with the same characters. And I had a really good time with it. So, Vin Diesel, good showing, man. It's weird, but it's good. So, not disappointed in the least. But yeah, it's weird that he went this route. It does seem reminiscent of Keanu's comic. I don't know. It's not with the same themes, but with the same like spelling on the titles. How do you feel about the new Transformers movie? I don't know. I'm not gonna think about the new Transformers movie coming out next year.
That's Rise of the Beast Cons.
Yeah.
Beast Wars.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got time for that right now. I gotta get the reviews out. Next is Percy Eaton Jr. Wilson. These Transformers movies are such a hot topic. Percy Eaton Jr. Wilson. Wolverine issue number 13. This is the Hellfire Gala. Now, this pretty much picks off after one of the other books. I can't remember which one, but it involved a terrorist attack during the Hellfire Gala and Wolverine swooping in to handle it. If you remember that, that's you get more of that story. Is it good? Yes, it's good. Is it the strongest of the Hellfire Gala books? No, not at all. You get just a portion of the Hellfire Gala, and it's mostly stuff we've already seen. So I kind of feel like this issue is a little skippable. Sorry to say. If you're a Wolverine fan, you won't be disappointed with it. If you're anyone else, that's not the book to jump into the Hellfire Gala on. You don't like it either?
I mean, that's not a good point to jump in.
Yeah, I wish it was just him running around fighting the vampires again, because that was really entertaining. Next is, this is going to be my indie pick of the week for good reason. This is Walker, Brown, Green, Dodgson, Otis May, and Elu. I can never pronounce names. I'm so sorry. This is Bitterroot number 14. Now, it was last issue, right? We had the meeting of the families. Bitterroot, like the families have suffered a few deaths. We had the meeting. Was it last issue, Cam? Do you remember?
I believe it was.
I believe it was last issue. We had the meeting of the families, and it was really badass. Like, it was inspirational. You had like all the different families lined up, and Just their different takes on fighting against the what are they called again? Jinju?
Something like that. I'm not sure.
Is that what it's called? No, it's not what it's called, is it?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I can't remember all the different names because the names are wild. I just remember the main families, the Cullens and the Sangarais. But it was a really amazing issue, and this issue is no different. Like, we were prepping for a big fight, and we get a lot of that fight. And a lot of that fight feels like it's over different spots of time and space, and it's really cool to see. Plus, I don't know, we get a really badass scene with Etta Sangarai, who literally says, like, she's like, what is it? Ain't nobody telling Etta Sangarai otherwise. And I love that stubborn character, but she's literally the best mad scientist. Can you call her a mad scientist, though? She's like a magic mad scientist, right? She has like a mad scientist theme, but like, don't all the creations, like, they come from the Cullens, don't they? And like all the magic tends to come from the Sangarais. It feels like, but they mix it up. She feels like the mad scientist character to me, but she's primarily magic. Trust me, it's cool. This storyline's really cool, but this fight in particular was amazing. So do not skip Bitterroot. If you are looking for the Juneteenth covers, we're already sold out. We've already had people order those off our shelves. We might have one left, but I think the rest are gone. Next is Star Wars. What? They're all gone? All gone. Sorry. Next is Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Vader, the Sound of Metal. Yes, look at that cover. Do you want to see Darth Vader fight IG-88 from the Knights of the Old Republic? Yes, you do. It's in this. On top of that, do you want to see a Jabba? Not sorry, I shouldn't say Jabba. A Hutt character that is actually buff? Yeah, oddly enough, I wanted to see that, and I really liked the character. I don't know. I it's weird to say. I've always kind of liked the Hutt crime family because I was like, I want a story where the Hutts are controlling the moving pieces of their crime empire and who they like bounce against and what happens and stuff like that. I've never gotten that story from the Star Wars universe, and I really want it. But anyway, so we get a lot of coolness in this Darth Vader comic. It was amazing, actually. I had a really good time with it. Not my Marvel pick of the week, or is it? Let me see. Give me a second, guys. Let me thumb through. Not my Marvel pick of the week. Nope, not my Marvel pick of the week. Really, really close, though. Super close. So don't skip Darth Vader this week. It's outstanding. Next is Blast, Balam, Olazaba, and Lopez. This is Reptile. Reptile had a really good opening. What'd you think of it, Cam?
It was fun.
It was fun. I had a good time with it. And they're sort of keeping with the fun. He encounters somebody who can open portals and is going to dive through to the dinosaur world portal. Look, this is just an excuse to have like dinosaurs and reptile flying around with them and stuff like that. That's all it is. But I mean, if you're somebody who likes dinosaurs, you'll probably have a good time with this book. It's a dinosaur superhero. I don't know. My 7-year-old self would have been screaming for this book. It's good. Come pick it up. Next is a book that was almost our pick of the week. It's outstanding. But it was just shy of Bitterroot. I thought Bitterroot had much better action, so this is just shy of it. James Tynion IV, Werther Deladera, and Miguel Muerto, and Muerto. Oh, wow. And we're talking about something. The guy's name is Muerto, and he's writing something that's killing the children. That's wild. Anyways, something is killing the children. Now, this issue in particular is going to be flying off our shelves for good reason. They're finally explaining how stuff works in the House of Slaughter and involving the secret society and how you get into it and stuff like that. Yeah. And more importantly, what the big secret is behind everything. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. The art is amazing. The story is amazing. We're getting more of the lore. This is everything I wanted. Plus, I mean, we've seen the white masks with the fangs, and we've seen the black masks with the fangs, but there are other colors in that house. There are other houses in that secret society that we don't really know everything about, and that intrigues the hell out of me. So Something is Killing the Children, issue number 17. It's outstanding. You should be on board with this. Everybody should honestly be on board with it. Next is Spawn Universe. I almost want to snub this book because of the attitude I got from a random casual fan last week regarding McFarlane. I'm not gonna elaborate on it, but it was just somebody being smug. And we call them posturing Pete's. It's somebody that was showing off their comic knowledge they got in the '90s. Anyways, so Spawn Universe, what is this? Well, you're getting the stories of the different Spawn characters that have been brought out in the current Spawn run over the past year. So She-Spawn, Gunslinger, Cygor. I think Cygor is an older one. Can you remember the rest of them?
Isn't there like an Archangel Spawn?
Something. Do you care?
I got it. I'm about to
You got it? Okay. Have you been having a good time with the Spawn run?
I've been like hopping in like here and there.
I haven't been having a good time with it. It's a very 90s comic, which, makes sense. But by 90s, I mean, it does feel like it's aged. Like, the panels are still full of, like, just so much text. At times, they spell things out, and the costumes are very sharp. Now, if you are a Spawn fan, you love this sort of thing. If you're anyone else, you just kind of feel like, well, it's been 30 years. Comics have grown a little bit. Let's grow with them. But maybe they're trying new stuff. We've got new characters, but the costumes still feel the same sort of sharpness, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yogi's over there nodding.
There's
Spikes and whips and like chains.
there's like a certain theme for certain comic book characters, and you don't really strive away from it.
Yeah, you don't really stray with that. I don't know. I'm not feeling Spawn anymore. I'm gonna say it. It's not my jam. But we got it on our shelf if you really want it. Next is the Chameleon Conspiracy, The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 69, legacy number 870. Spencer, Breeson, Ferreira, Gomez, and Carlos. The deep sigh. I'm not having a good time with Spencer's run, but I will happily tell you that I had a pretty good time with this issue. The Chameleon Conspiracy is actually kind of fun. There's a lot of action. More importantly, we get to see there are some funny one-liners with Jack-O-Lantern in this, to include Peter Parker saying over and over in his head, please don't make a Smashing Pumpkins joke. Please don't make a Smashing Pumpkins joke. Please. So I had a good time with this issue. I think that if you've been sort of struggling with the Amazing Spider-Man run, as I have, you might have a good time with this issue. So this one is one that you should pick up. It wasn't bad. The art is outstanding. Just the whole Sins of the Father stuff that Spencer can't get rid of has been driving me nuts. Next is it called Sins of the Father? Sin Eater. Sins of the Father is Star Wars themed. Anyways, Spurrier, Quinn, Tartaglia, and we're talking about Way of X. This is Hellfire Gala, and if you read Hellfire Gala, you'll know that, Nightcrawler got really drunk. I mean, really drunk. Roaringly drunk, made an ass out of himself, and then passed out and stuff like that, while he's trying to establish a new religion. And his partner in crime for helping with this new religion is none other than Legion. Yeah, and we actually saw in the last issue that Legion decided to help Nightcrawler, and he was trying to be reborn. But Xavier was like, I will not put his soul in his body. And then Legion was like, well, then I'll just do it myself. Why is that? Because Professor X is actually scared of his son, ridiculously scared of his son. Like, he can pretty much destroy the world in seconds, and he's beyond Omega. It does depend on which personality, but we all know that all those personalities somehow have to hold up that giant level of hair. And anyone that can do that is definitely beyond Omega. Does he look like he's like the anti-Guile?
Yeah.
Anyways, if you only know Legion from the TV show, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But Legion in the comics has the most ridiculous looking hair you've ever seen, which is weird for a character that is so OP. I guess it's just a testament to mutants just having to be different. Way of X, is it amazing? Yes, it's outstanding. I had such a good time with it, but I love everything Hellfire Gala. I can't get enough of it. It's outstanding. This is just fleshing out more of the lore of the religion that Kurt's trying to put together. And while it does feel a little fillery at times, it's not to say that I didn't have a bad time with it. It just wasn't as good as the second issue, which was outstanding. It really knocked it out of the park for me. But we're going to keep going with that. Next is Al Ewing, the amazing, the legendary Al Ewing. God, I love everything he writes. Juan Frigeri and Federico Blee. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, we've got a lot of problems. Well, one, it's not a problem. Star-Lord is actually Star-Lord, finally. He's got the powers of, like, a sun, a star, and is all types of badass now. Meanwhile, him and Nova are tasked out to go as emissaries to talk to the new planet of Araco, which is Mars, and it's going to be a mutant planet that's been terraformed. So they're tasked out over there. Meanwhile, the rest of the Guardians are babysitting Ego, which has now become a giant black egg and is birthing something new. And a whole bunch of people are waiting. A whole bunch of Fringe World spaceships are out there waiting to study what's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you flat out, it's the most wicked thing that could happen and probably not good at all for 616. So, yeah, come check this out. It's amazing. Al Ewing, everything Al Ewing touches is just, it's gold, man. Next is Eastman, Campbell, Daniel, and Pattinson, and we're talking about TMNT, and that's the Eastman cover. Now, this TMNT run has been amazing, but not enough people have been reading it. This issue in particular will center around Baxter Stockman, and we're actually going to see a redemption arc for the Shredder. I never thought I would say that, not in 30 years.
Well, I mean, with Shredder Goes to Hell, that was pretty beginning.
Shredder Goes to Hell was a redemption arc, and it's kind of fixed the dark part of his soul. But now we're going to see further how it grows after that, and it's wild to see. He's been actually looking after the Hamato clan, like, without their knowledge. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
man.
weird, and I'm having a good time with it. You will too. So it's on our shelf. Come pick it up. Next is a book that I'm sad to say Diamond shorted us. So we only have variants, and we only have a couple, which is really sad because it's amazing. This book is, I know it's Al Ewing, and Crystal Frazier is helping him out. Lan Medina, and then Antonio Fabella, and we're talking about Gamma Flight. This is the variant. Now, if you don't know Gamma Flight is an offshoot of Alpha Flight that involves some gamma-charged heroes and villains, actually, that are all teaming up to tackle gamma-related problems. And they've sort of been shamed because, like, not only did they get the crap beat out of them by Immortal Hulk, but was it even Immortal Hulk, or was it was like Savage with Joe Fixit?
Wait,
Yeah, the last time Gamma Flight got owned, because they got owned on that, like, space station where Fixit was like, no, I'll break this thing and, like, fall to the earth. I don't care about any of you. But they got owned there, and the government sort of disowned them and brought back another team that was even bigger villains. And so they're picking up the pieces, and some of them are falling in love and fleshing out their stories a bit more, and some of them are deciding what their roles are going to be in the Marvel Universe, and it's fun. Al Ewing is just taking his Immortal Hulk mythos and saying, look, I know Immortal Hulk is coming to an end, and I know you're going to want more, so I'm going to make you love these characters that you really don't know that much about. Like, how much do you know about the Gamma Flight characters? How much, Cam? Not much. I mean, Doc Samson is now in Sasquatch's body, so he's Doc Sasquatch. Yeah, and we've combined some heroes, like the Absorbing Man is combined with who is that he's combined with? I don't even remember. So, like I said, these are characters that you don't know all that well. You've kind of seen them in Immortal Hulk, but I don't know them all that well. And he's going to make you fall in love with them, because I by the time I reached the end of this issue, I was like, oh, I had a really good time with that. You absolutely will too. Now, the art, there's always a question of art, and I don't know, this art feels really similar to the Immortal Hulk stuff. I don't think you will be disappointed. So, yeah, come pick it up. It's outstanding. Next is a book. This was almost my indie pick of the week. Again, Bitterroot beat it out. Dr. Sasquatch should be his DJ name. You're not wrong. That would be a good DJ name. Yogi, you want to be Doc Sasquatch for a DJ name? Doc Squatch. Anyways, this is a book that almost was my pick of the week. Right there. Bitterroot beat it out because I'm just having the best time with Bitterroot, but this is Cullen Bunn, John Davis Hunt, Jordi Belair, and Clayton Cowles. There's a Cowles on this book. I didn't know that. Clayton Cowles is related to Dennis Cowles, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyways, we're talking about Shadow Man in the Valiant universe. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it right now. Of all the Valiant characters, did I say this last time? I think I did too. of all the Valiant characters, I think I like Shadow Man the most. And that's saying a lot. That's more than Exo Manowar. Why? Well, he's dealing with the Loa and a corruption and something actually destroying people that are quote unquote tainted by the Loa, which is a problem because that's where most of his power set comes from. And the character Shadow Man, he's awesome. He's got the right amount of wit and quick one-liners that just make the character fun. And I don't know this character enough. I wasn't super into Shadow Man back in the day. Cam, what do you think of this run so far?
It's been great.
It's been great. I just couldn't put it down. This issue in particular, I reached the end of the issue and was like, yo, I want to go back and reread that. Just an amazing amount of action, really fun. The way it got wrapped up was perfect. And how he handled the villain was also perfect. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm in love with the Valiant book, and it's Shadow Man. This book is outstanding, absurdly cool. Come pick it up. Trust me. If you are waiting to jump in on this or you've been waiting to dive into the Valiant universe, this is your book. Take it from me. This is absolutely the best book in the Valiant universe right now. We've got it on our shelves. Next is my Marvel pick of the week. Anyone want to guess what that is?
Amazing Spider-Man, because you love that Nick Spencer guy.
Oh, God. No, it is. And it felt good. We were all waiting for it to happen, and it felt so damn good. Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness, Mark Morales, Matthew Wilson. Heroes return. Now, we've had this team that is vaguely reminiscent of the Justice League. Not vaguely. It's complete ripoff of the Justice League in the form of Squadron Supreme. And they suck. The world has been reformed. We found out through Mephisto and something called the Inferno Cube, was it? Pandemonium Cube, which is just a cosmic cube tainted by Mephisto. It was given to none other than who? Agent Coulson, who is now President Coulson. And yeah, the whole world sucked. Our friends, the Avengers, didn't know who they were. They had to rediscover who they were. Only Blade really knew it, and he had to go collect everyone up. And it's been building towards this fight with them, and the fight felt amazing. Oh my God, guys! I'm so happy it's finally wrapped up. More importantly, I'm happy that they're going to tie it all up with a bow. They're going to fix the world, and we get to see the Squadron Supreme get the absolute crap beat out of them, which feels so good. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, a little spoilery, but Black Panther, the way he beats the crap out of the speedster on their team felt so good. Insanely good. It was just like, because I hate that character. And Black Panther beat the crap out of him. Anyway, so do not skip. My Marvel pick of the week is for sure Heroes Reborn. Heroes Return. Had a great time, loved it. It's finally wrapping everything up with a bow. More importantly, we can get back to better stuff in the regular 616 universe that is no longer tainted and making me angry. Next is Ewing, Sheedy, and Gracia, and we're talking about Sword, Hellfire Gala. Now, we saw in the previous, was it Sword? It wasn't Sword that did that, though. One of the issues we saw what was happening, and basically Mars got terraformed by the mutants. Storm, what?
Planet-sized X-Men.
Planet-sized X-Men got terraformed. Storm literally built an atmosphere on Mars at one point. It was wild. But we saw them terraform it. They moved Arakko, the biggest problem currently for 616 mutants, which is the warlike mutants that came through from the other dimension. So they moved them over to Mars so that they can have their own planet to be warlike with their culture and not create problems for the humans. And then they did the fireworks show for the Hellfire Gala, which they telepathically beamed to everyone, which we kept seeing being referenced in all the comics. So we finally got all that wrapped up. Now we get to see what happens. Their Sword has a second station in Mars. This one in particular has a tree growing out of it in space, which doesn't seem like it should exist. But when Peter Quill gets there in Guardians, he's like, that's a cool flex. Space tree. That's a good flex. So I had a really, really good time with that issue. This issue in particular is actually really touching because Magneto has a very soft moment with one of his daughters. What do you think is the most distant of all of them that he struggles to have relationships with? Well, okay, fair.
I'm lost in this one, maybe. I don't know. Only one that comes to mind.
Isn't Scarlet Witch is his daughter, isn't she?
Not anymore. They did, unless they changed the retcon, because it was revealed that Pietro and Wanda weren't actually his kids.
Well, maybe they're referencing that, but I don't know. He literally calls her daughter in this, so
Okay, yeah. Then
it's a really, really touching moment. I had a good time with it. I don't know. And maybe I spoiled a little bit of it, but I think that alone is worth the price of admission here. The art is really good. We do get a little bit more of the sword back and forth, but we also get a really funny exchange between Captain America and Doom in this that it was pretty entertaining. Like Doom is like, hey, both of us pretty much represent our nations, right? And Cap's like,
Wow. We're not the same.
I guess if you want to consider us on the same level, okay.
I mean, Duke can kick his ass any day.
Oh, that was good, man. Anyway, so is it great? Yeah, it's great. It's really good. But again, Al Ewing, the guy just he writes emotion well. He writes horror well. What does Al Ewing not write well? Can't think of anything.
Yeah.
We
I
shall
haven't-
see when he tackles
I haven't-
Venom in November.
We'll see when he tackles Venom. Bendis, Malieve, Stewart. You know what? Like, he doesn't need, because he can do a totally new mythos with that Venom character, because it's a
He can,
totally
but don't
different
forget,
Venom.
It's like continuing from Venom 35.
But it doesn't matter what he does.
I mean-
And making new mythos is what that dude does.
Right, especially since they did, like, Case introduced Cosmic Horror. He's been killing it with, we only find them when they're dead, plus he introduced Cosmic Horror with the Immortal Form.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. Sorry guys, getting off topic. Next is Bendis, Malieve, and Stewart. We're talking about Checkmate. Okay. One, the art I'm on the fence with. Why am I on the fence with the art? Because the art feels like Leviathan. Why does it feel like Leviathan? Because it's Bendis. It's Bendis telling the story. Checkmate. Checkmate is, if you don't know what Checkmate is, it's kind of a secret underground, what would you call it? Like an NSA type group? Spy group, kind of, that at one point was ran by Maxwell Lord.
Into the Nazis of the DC world. Sneaky snakes.
Sneaky snakes. So it's that's what you get, but you get more of the Leviathan story, because I know you wanted that, right? Everybody wanted more Leviathan story, didn't you? Is that what you wanted, Cam? No, I hated Leviathan, and the fact that we're getting more of that sucks. Bendis, go back to making new characters. You're amazing at that. Just don't make them villains like Leviathan. That dude had like a refrigerator on his face. That character sucked. Anyways, so I don't care about Checkmate. I'm going to tell you, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, which, you know, for me, that's saying it's not all that great. You might, if you really like Leviathan, and leave a comment and tell me that you like Leviathan, because I don't think that person exists. Next is Phillips, Rosmo, Lyston, and Placencia, and we're talking about Harley Quinn. So we're on to the DC books. This book in particular was really, really fun. This is going to be Harley Quinn versus Hugo Strange. Dr. Hugo Strange, who has kidnapped her sidekicks, who she was happily reforming. And this opens with her having a chess match with Solomon Grundy. He doesn't strike me as somebody who would be good at chess.
Makes me think of the Superman Batman story where someone was mind controlling Solomon Grundy.
Mind controlling Solomon. Well, he's not being mind controlled. She's just hanging out with him. I love everything about this particular Harley. It does feel a bit like the animated series Harley has been let loose, like in the DC, which is weird because it's always been the animated series Harley that's been let loose in the DC series. But I mean the more adult one now. And it's really fun. Like if you have been struggling with the last Harley run, I know at times it got a little serious for people. This one's been outstanding. I've had a really good time with it. Next is a book I love. Bendis, Marquez, Placencia. We're talking about Justice League issue number 63. Black Adam and Naomi accused. Not really, oddly enough. That title actually doesn't happen at all in this. What we are seeing is we're seeing the wrap up of the fight on Naomi's world with what was the enemy's name? Do you remember?
Oh God, no.
I can't remember his name.
So long ago.
He's a weird guy with horns. But the world stinks, and the world is actually overpowered. Like the meta-humans, like powers are malfunctioning in weird ways. They're getting like supercharged. Black Canary can like level a football field with her scream. Like, yeah, it's
Jesus.
wild. But Soups can't even open his eyes because he's got the whole Cyclops malfunction going. So was it good? Yeah, it's good. They wrap it up really well. We finally get a welcome to Naomi to the team. We're gonna finally get a welcome to Black Adam to the team. And I had a really good time with it. So yeah, this Justice League is outstanding. What's not that outstanding is the Justice League Dark story, which is weird to say because that last run was amazing. And this felt like it was building towards something great, but I read it and I was like, it's okay. But the main Justice League story was outstanding, so we will have it.
World have a yellow sun.
Yes, it's a world like ours.
Okay, yeah. So I was like if it wasn't for the yellow sun, I'm like, eventually he should drain out.
So when they showed Naomi's world, like her home world that she pretty much left as a baby, the shot that they showed looked like our Earth's because they said it's an Earth that's not unlike our Earth, and it was like joggers in Central Park, like people looking at their phones, like it looked almost exactly like our Earth, which it could be for all I know in their mythos. But it's basically they had some sort of malfunction with the atmosphere, and for like 20 seconds it was like a malfunction with the ozone layer, and 64 people around the world got superpowers, and then I think it was 64.
Yeah, it was something like really specific.
Yeah, like a weird number.
Yeah.
And like some of them, like one of them was on death row and he's like the worst one. And basically the whole United States got carved up, or not the United States, the whole planet got carved up into like groups by these superpowered people that were just destroying everything. Anyways, backstory on Naomi. Easton, Osio, and Renzi, and we're talking about Mr. Miracle. Now, this is Mr. Miracle Shiloh, who has a mother box and is running around being a badass. And if you don't know who that character is, that's because none of us did either. It turns out it's Barda and Scott Free's kid, whose name is, are you ready for this, Shogi? NVIR Free. Never Free.
Never free.
Her name is Never Free. Is it Navarre? Is that what you say, Navarre? I hate the name regardless. But she's technically with Shiloh. Shiloh's got to figure out how to escape her and counter her. And the reason she's mad at him is very strange. It's because he's an imposter, a Mr. Miracle imposter. I don't know. Would you be mad if someone was doing that? I guess if you were selling branding, but I don't think. Do the New Gods sell branding in like Apocalypse and stuff like that?
I guess that would be up to O'Brien.
Right? What? Anyways, so it's a weird premise for a fight, but what's not weird is that is he new? I don't think he's new, right? I just don't know this Mr. Miracle. Shiloh as Mr. Miracle is actually a really, really fun character, and I like his mother box, and I'm having a good time with this comic. You will too, so come check it out. Plus, we get to see some really cool fights in this particular issue. Had a great time. Williamson, Meliknov, and Guerrero. I'm gonna go ahead and say, do I say it? No, I don't. Almost my pick of the week. Almost my pick of the week here is Robin, and this is Connor Hawk and Damian Wayne's Ultimate Competition. Guess what? Damian's got a problem. He's on an island that is pretty much Mortal Kombat, and you gotta be killed to enter the competition at least once. And you can only die 3 times, and then you get resurrected. It's totally Mortal Kombat crossed with Enter the Dragon. That's what it is.
Okay,
And-
USA.
Okay. And he's trying to get to the bottom of the League of Lazarus. But his true problem is the fact that he doesn't know how to party. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like apparently we found out a couple issues back that Damian's into manga, and he was really ashamed by getting caught reading manga.
Okay.
And somebody was like, dude, you need to learn how to let your hair down and like relax a little bit, buddy. Like chill out a little bit. And it's true. He's really high strung. So it's awesome. I mean, they're kind of taking Damian in ways that the only person I've ever seen take him in this direction is Jonathan Kent. So it's weird to see him grow this way. So yeah, having a good time with it. You absolutely will. The art is outstanding. But Cam, you have a problem with the other person in that book.
No, it's just like out of every superhero offspring they can choose from,
Out
why
of,
Connor Hawk?
yeah, why Connor Hawk? I've never been a Connor Hawk fan. Have you?
No.
No.
I'm just more curious what kind of manga Damien reads.
It looked like a slice of life manga. Like it was a very chill, like, and he was like, huh! like hiding it away. Johnson, Godlewski, and Eltab, and we're talking about, is this the end of Superman? Now, we need to talk about the differences between this comic and the other one. Now, the first story, it was okay. It was Jonathan Kent and Supes himself, well, Clark Kent, dealing with alien shenanigans and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. The second story was actually really interesting. It was Jimmy Olsen working with the team to solve some problem in Metropolis. But it honestly felt like filler. Why did it feel like filler? Because I think that Action Comics is on everyone's mind right now. And we'll get into that because I've got to review that book too. But this book, it's pretty good. It's not the best, pretty good. It's if you're going to buy Supes this week, though, buy Action Comics. It's better. Or buy them both. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Next is Williamson, Zermanico, and Ferraro Jr. And oh God, do we need to talk about Infinite Frontier? Now, there is something at the end of this that I desperately want to talk about, but I can't without spoiling it. But it was amazing. Like I was like shouting to Cam, like floored by the events of this. It's gonna be a lasting thing. It's going to change a character in a pretty monumental way, and it's super cool. That's all I'm going to say on that. More importantly, we know that Flashpoint Batman is going to be in this, and he's going to be working with, well, the multiverse team of the Justice League, which is called, like, the Justice Continuum. What are they called? Does anyone remember?
No.
It's a stupid name. Justice Incarnate.
Oh, God.
I hate that name. But it does have President Superman on it, which I like that character quite a bit. And Flashpoint Batman, which I'm sorry, but Thomas Wayne really pissed me off at the end of the King run.
Hopefully this will actually explain how he got there in the first place.
No, we've had that explained.
Oh, how?
That's been explained.
I never got that.
It was Reverse Flash.
Oh, God.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was the events of the button. He like pulled him out of there. Was it Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom? I think it was Professor Zoom. I get those characters confused. Anyways, back to this. Is it a good story? Yes, it's a really, really good story. Is the art good? Yes, the art is amazing. We were all kind of waiting to find out if Infinite Frontier was going to be amazing because this sets the stage for pretty much the next phase of DC, and it's great. It's outstanding. But I really, 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 really love this character who died a couple years back, and I was super sad about it. So they brought him back, but they've changed him in a pretty monumental way. And trust me, you're totally going to want to read this. Especially, I'm just going to preface this. If you're a Lantern Corps fanboy, do not skip this issue in particular. That's it. We're going to go on to another book. Is it my DC pick of the week? Yes. Infinite Frontier absolutely is my DC pick of the week. Go get it. Don't skip on it. It's amazing. Next was another book that is amazing. Teen Titans Academy, Sheridan, Lieber, and Stewart. We're not going to talk about the events of this issue because really every issue seems to be, hey, we need to figure out who Red X is. Cam, who do you think it is? Guesses?
No, I got nothing.
Nothing. What do you think Red X is?
New character.
I read online that they're thinking that it might be Hero Dial Miguel, Dial H for Hero, Miguel, I can't remember his last name.
That would make use of the series.
I mean, he was at the end of it all in the Future State stuff. So it would kind of make sense.
With Tim Drake, question.
I mean, he's still Red Robin, though, right?
Yeah, he's still. Yeah, I don't think so. He just had a suit change and name change to Drake, and then changed back because everyone was like, "That's gross. Stop."
Yeah, that's really bad.
It was a bad outfit. Teen Titans Academy is outstanding, but honestly, all you need to know is they're still trying to figure out who Red X is. That's it. That's what's going on with Teen Titans Academy. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. Next is Batman Reptilian. Garth Ennis, Liam Sharp. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. I don't know. This story, it's Garth Ennis, and I picked it up and was like, oh, Garth Ennis, going to be some edgy edgelord stuff in this. And it wasn't. And the art, I think this is the same artist that did Green Lantern, the Grant Morrison run with season 1, season 2. I didn't like that artist, but I'm kind of on the fence. It's sort of okay. At times it felt like that Arkham Asylum Grant Morrison run, which honestly might be the same artist there too, which that felt okay, but then I started getting like just flashbacks to that terrible Green Lantern run. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about the artwork. The storyline was okay, just didn't feel like an Ennis story to me. I don't know what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it. It's one of the Black Label stories, so it will not have any effect on the main continuity of DC Universe. Although I guess everything is continuity now, right, with the Omniverse?
Yeah,
It's confusing, but go pick this up. It's good. Next is Batman Detective Comics. This is Tamaki Bodanovich, Enriquez, and Belair. Now, I said last time that the Batman story was okay, but the Huntress story was amazing. Well, those stories have intersected, and now they put them together, running around handling stuff, and it's pretty good. But that's not the best part about this issue in particular. In fact, I'd argue that the Batman storyline and him trying to get to the bottom of who framed him for murder is something I don't much care about. But Penguin is really, really mad right now because everyone kind of sees him as campy and hokey and like used to be a really good villain and is now only okay. So Penguin's a little pissed. And I don't think Cobblepot is the kind of guy you really want to piss off or talk smack about. Because, you know, yeah, he does seem a little campy at times, but he's not campy enough that he won't shoot you in the face. So that particular scene at the very end of this book is totally worth the price of admission. Had a great time with that in particular. You just gotta read it. It's a very Penguin-esque. It's the Penguin, and it's really just why he's one of my favorite villains for Batman. And you gotta see it to believe it. It's outstanding. Next is an issue 1 that is strange. It's coming from us to Scout Comics. This story is all over the place. This is Claire and the Dragons. Now the art is very Saturday morning cartoon. What's not Saturday morning cartoon is a bunch of girls being kidnapped by old men who are trying to sacrifice them to some type of gods. Which I got to be honest, we've seen this in the Virgin Brides, I think is the comic. We've seen this before. But it was just that much more creepier. And then at the end, dragons out of nowhere. Dragons. If it sounds like a lot of weird stuff moving around, that's what it felt like. Like I read it and was like, what? Huh? I'm not sure how or why any of this is happening. It felt kind of messy at times. I don't know. Maybe the art wasn't translating proper with the writing. I'm not sure what was going on here. I'm going to say pick this up, thumb through it, see if you like it. It's not a buy for me by any means. It's pick it up and see what you think. Next is Yang, Lappuccino, Lieber, Robertson, Hotz, and Rich. This is Batman, Superman. But Batman and Superman have been doing this old-timey film thing where they've been jumping across film reels and stuff like that. And they're at the mercy of some kind of film monster, some maker of film worlds. Is it weird? Yeah, it's weird. In this one in particular, you're going to encounter a cowboy story. But look, what's not weird is the art. The art is very cool, and the artist is showing that they're able to go across several different styles and make a storyline work that would be as wild as that. And it does feel old-timey sci-fi at times and old-timey superhero at times and cowboy, and it just works. So Batman, Superman, having a good time. Am I having as good of a time as I have before this particular monster? Nah, it's a little off. Batman, Superman stuff has been just top tier. This is just under the top rung, but it's still not a bad comic by any means, and I think if you're reading it, you're having a good time. Wonder Woman Black and Gold. Now, these are several stories across the Wonder Woman universe, and I actually had a really good time with this one. I don't know what it is, but like all of these, the red, white, and blue, Superman, red, white, and blue, Batman, What's the Batman one called? Black and white. And this one is black and gold. For whatever reason, the Wonder Woman one, the art really works well for me. The black and gold just stands out. It really sort of fits the storyline. Plus, you get a very Theseus-esque Greek story with Wonder Woman at the end, and I don't know if that really clicked for me, but I like the old sort of fables of Theseus and stuff like that. And if you grew up reading some of those old Greek stories, you probably like it too. I don't know. They were assigned to me in school. But the rest of it is pretty good. It's just that was the strongest of the story. The art, however, is just outstanding. I don't know what it is, but this style of art really and coloring really works for me. Pick it up, look through it. I promise you'll probably be amazed by it. Next is a comic called Stake. This is Bern Fantini Rodriguez, and this centers around, well, vampires versus humans, full stop. Now, does that mean that the storyline sucks if we've kind of seen this before in different forms? No, not really. It seems like the world knows who vampires are, and there are protests and other stuff. And the vampires themselves are pretty cognizant of their weaknesses and flaws. And they don't seem like typical goth vampires, which I know is going to bother a lot of people. Like, a lot of people just want that scary sort of Vampire the Masquerade, Vampire Clan-esque, like evil, sinister politics. And these are more like, not Twilight, not that babyfied, but not that hardcore either. That's what I want to say. Yogi's over there cringing right now. But I actually had a pretty good time with it. I am partial to vampire stories, so you can kind of take it with a grain of salt. Next is Clunan, Conrad McDonald Flaherty, and we saw Wonder Woman. Well, she was in the Norse mythos, and we saw a couple of digs at Marvel during that time. And now she's moved on to the gods of Olympus and getting stuff handled with her trusty sidekick, Ratatoskr, the Chaos Squirrel from Norse mythology. Yeah, she's running around with him. I don't know what it is, but the art is really amazing, and the storyline really, really works for me. Now, this one, I'm not going to lie, of all these ones we've been reading, the Norse ones really worked for me. The Olympus one felt at times a bit messy. Like, I was a little confused as to why and what was happening. But give the writer a chance to work. This writer's pretty damn good so far, and I want to know where they're going with this. But this issue in particular, just a little off, but I still had a really good time with it. I think you will too. Next is a comic we need to talk about. Johnson Samper Lucas, Superman Action Comics. Now, Superman recently tried to stop a Mongol invasion, and it was a different Mongol of Warworld. And that one in particular brought some they were red light irradiated slaves that turned out to be Kryptonians, because they were saying a Kryptonian prayer. Now, we know that the House of El grows in the future because of Future State, and there were a lot of different Kryptonians with a lot of different powers, some of them tied to Warworld, and we're finally getting that story, and it's cool. It's really amazing. Now, these characters they've been through some trauma, so Superman's trying to cope with them. Meanwhile, there is some sort of mysterious artifact that has awakened in Atlantis that might cause some chaos, so Superman's also got to get to the bottom of that. And I'm just having the best time with this Action Comics run. I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't have a good time with the Bendis run. Who did? Did you guys have a good time with the Bendis Action Comics run? I didn't like it. It was like 3 years of that Red Mist character that nobody cared about. Yeah, I read the Naomi part, and that was about it. No, I read the other parts. I have to do these reviews. I didn't like it. This one, it's so cool. I had a really good time with this. Not my DC pick of the week. Again, that goes to Infinite Frontier. But, oh, God, it's awesome, and I really want to talk about this issue in particular. You shouldn't skip it. You will have a good time with it. That's it for our show this week. My throat is going, so it's not a moment too soon. Come pick up your books. We love you, Green Machine friends and fans of fun, and we will see you.
Pop culture news, real fast. One thing. Our boy Dominic Pace was down in Houston, Texas, and they gave him a whole day, a holiday, for Dominic Pace. Yeah.
Dominic Pace got his own holiday?
Hunter, yeah.
Oh, for Gecko the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, he's blowing up. So.
Cool. So hopefully we see him in Mandalorian Season 3. But Dominic Pace had something major go down in Texas. Look it up. But we will see you guys next week. Love you guys. It has been a week. Let me tell you, it's been the wildest week of my life. Anyway, share to Instagram TV. Bye, YouTube. You're getting toggled off next. We love you.
Effed up because I never got my phone until I don't